Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at something a bit different. I know, indicators, right? Like, people don't use indicators when it comes to smart money. I mean, it's basically like blasphemy at this point. But there is one indicator that I do like to use, and it's an extra confirmation. Remember, I don't trade based off of indicators, but these indicators are algorithmic based. Okay, it gives you certain information into maybe volume, strength of trends, whatever. They're all algorithmic, it's all mathematical, but they can help you when you are looking and trying to make predictions in the market. And when it comes to smart money concepts, there's one indicator that I love to use. But before I get started, these days, and as you guys can see with the videos that I'm producing recently, it's a little bit different to what I'm usually producing. Essentially, what I'm trying to show you is a new way of looking at the market. Smart money refined, how to refine this, how to delete all of the bullshit that you're seeing online, because essentially smart money has become mainstream. It's basically the new retail. My goal right here is to give you high probability confirmations that you aren't used to seeing in the market, and also a way to simplify smart money for you, to get rid of all of the fluff and just give you exactly what you need. This is the skeleton that you need, and these confirmations are going to help you make more high probability decisions. So to get straight into the video, the indicator that I like to use is called the TDI. This is the Traders Dynamic Index. Okay, and I like to use the one by Zeta Charts. I have a favorited right here. Okay, so when it comes to the TDI, it is simply the RSI on 3 different time frames, and as you can see right here, you have the baseline. It's giving you the momentum of the trend, and then you have these 2 lines right here, which is basically like Bollinger Bands. To me, this doesn't really matter. I'm not really interested too much in what's happening here. I am more concerned when it comes to the TDI about the divergences, and the divergences in regards to price. How do I break this down, and how do I actually use this when it comes to smart money concepts? I am not simply trading any little stupid divergence that I see. That's not how to do it, and this is what most people when it comes to indicator trading are doing. They have a certain set of checklists and rules right here, and if it does it in the indicator, they enter. That's not what I'm looking for. I am still basing my setup off of smart money. Okay, I am basing my setup off my normal trading system, which is looking at structure, all of that good stuff, finding my order block. And then what I do is, let's say structure right here is up, and then it breaks, and then we're looking at bear structure leading up to my order block, institutional candle, supply and demand. Don't care what you want to call it, to be honest. But once it leads up to this point and I'm looking to buy from here, I look at the TDI, and I want to see 2 things in specific. I would like to see, very high probability confirmation is for me to see a divergence. Okay, here, divergence, that price action has made a lower low, but here it's failed to make a lower low, and instead, okay, it's made something like this. So this is what I like to see. This is the type of divergence that I like to see, and I like this out with div divergence. Very high probable confirmation for me right here. And I also like to see when I like to buy, okay, basically essentially when the green line, this is the price, when it's right at the bottom, and especially if it breaks out of the band right here. Okay, so if it breaks out of my band, outer band, inside band, something like this, I like to buy right at the band right here. So break out outside of the band, come back into the band, and then kind of retest the line once again, and then I like to buy. And as we reach the blue line again, as we reach the top band, okay, then this is probably a good time to potentially partial profit or take profit, whatever. I don't listen to this too much in regards to partial profit taking or whatever. I don't really care about that, if I'm being honest with you. You can incorporate that into your strategy, sure, but what I'm more interested in, and it doesn't always have to break the band, I mean, it's a bit more high probable, but it doesn't always have to break the band. But what I do like to focus on, and it's just one of many confirmations that I might use, but it's very helpful, and it's the divergence. So how do I apply this in real market scenario? Let's go take a look at GPSD right here. And there's a beautiful setup, right, that I was able to take on GPSD last week, and I showed you guys this, and I was able to send this into the group, etc. So this one, what did we have? Well, I'm not going to go over my whole market structure analysis, etc. Overall, bullish market structure and my point of interest, right? My point of interest. And as price was approaching my point of interest, then I go down to my lower time frame. I can try to look at a divergence from the lower time frame, or I can try to take a look at divergence from my current time frame. Now, I do not really go to any time frame below probably the 10-minute. I wouldn't really go below the 10-minute, because the lower you go on the time frames, the more divergences that you're going to expect to see. Okay, so the lower that you go, the more divergence that you're going to expect to see. And remember, I am not trading just simple random divergences right here. Okay, I am trying to trade a divergence away from a point of interest. So let's go to my 10-minute time frame and let's see if we can start to spot any divergences. So as you can see, straight away, right here, like first of all, if I go to the 1 hour, I'm right below, like I'm outside of the band. I went outside of the band. Once again, I went back into the band, and now I'm at the low side of the band. Okay, so I'm expecting a push all the way back up to the kind of the top of the band right here. I go down to my lower time frame and I can already see divergences are occurring. Okay, the price is making lower lows, but right here we're failing to make lower lows on the TDI. Price does this thing, continues, it continues, it continues, and once again, waiting eventually for it to reach. And eventually taps into my point of interest. And there we go. What do we have right here? Price went outside of the band. Outside of the band. Comes back in. And this is when I look for my buys. As it goes outside the band and it comes back in. Now, here's one thing that you have to be very, very, very careful of. A lot of the time, the TDI is not going to give you the indicator right here. Like you see, we have like the bullish and the bearish divergence. It's not going to give you that in time because it's a lagging indicator. So you have to actually be very, very careful and be able to spot these divergences yourself without the help of this thing right here. Okay, so here's a little bit of a more clear example of what I meant. The last example that I just gave you on GBPSD wasn't the clearest example, so this is a little bit more clear, and we are going to say that we touched just off the point of interest to the left right here, which we did. It was a 4 hour point of interest all the way back. Okay, all the way back for a point of interest. The first tap, we went outside of the band. Look, we went outside of the band. Essentially, you can say it's overbought, oversold. I don't really use these terms. Okay, I don't believe in these terms. But it went outside of the band. And then once again, it's going to come back up. It's essentially like the retest. But let's just let price do its thing. It does its thing, it does its thing, it does its thing. Okay, look, we already have had that divergence occur because, look, price made a higher high. It broke this high, but it didn't break the high right here. So essentially, this is the divergence that we had. The band, okay, not the band, sorry, the indication, the indicator, the signal that this is a bearish divergence doesn't appear until price is well gone. You want to be identifying this right at the top right here, maybe after this candle prints. This is when you want to be identifying this. And this essentially, eventually now is a good time to get into my sell. So look, it only appears like when price is down here. This is a bit too late for me. And eventually the price has already reached like the lower band right here. So potentially now you could expect, okay, so at least a pullback or a reversal to the upside. Okay. Let price do its thing, etc. I'm going to give you one more example now. Okay, so here's one more example. Once again, this is an even more clear example because it's on the higher time frame. Okay, and the higher time frame divergence is going to be much more stronger than the, for example, the 5-minute one. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that I don't trade off of the like I don't trade if I don't see a divergence. It depends on what your system is, what your rule is. Once again, I'm just giving you an extra tool that you can apply to your system. My system doesn't fully revolve around this, so if I don't see it, it's fine. I have more important confirmations that I look for, but this is one of those that you can add that is pretty powerful. Last example, 4 hour point of interest touch. Now I go to the lower time frame, 45-minute, a few time frames below. What can I see right here? Multiple divergences. Okay, it's creating higher, like it's breaking the previous high here. It's creating like a higher high. Look, it's breaking the previous high. Once again, breaks the previous high. But when we take a look at the TDI, it's not breaking the high. Hasn't broke the high here. Hasn't broke the high here. Hasn't broke the high here. Essentially, we start seeing a bearish divergence here, and we are once again break right out of the top. Okay, broke out of the band, and we go back into the band. OBIB. So right here is the time that I'd be looking for shorts. This gives me an indication, give me a signal that okay, we're right at the top. We're getting the divergences right at the top right here. We are overbought. I hate using that term, but we are overbought. Could be a potentially good supply to sell from. Okay, this is a premium area. This could be a good place to look for our shorts. So this is how I use a TDI. It's an extra confirmation. It's not something that is crazy that you need, but it's an extra confirmation that I like to use, and it's pretty pretty nice. I mean, it does add higher probability into your trading. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you gained some value from this video. Once again, if you're interested in joining my program and understanding more about the smart money concepts refined and how I take my setups, then make sure to head down to the description down below and get started with us and join the team. It's only €150 lifetime access. And yeah, other than that, I appreciate every single one of you for hopping onto the video. One last thing, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Momofx. We posting a lot there these days. And yeah, this time I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a great day. Bye bye.